facing. Is globalization an economic phenomenon? Only two. Others? It's not a phenomenon at all. Yes or no? If I say is globalization an economic phenomenon only? No, is the answer. Globalization is not just an economic phenomenon. It's not just about IMF or WTO. Yes or no? It's about society, how society is getting impacted. It's a cultural process, it's a social process, it's a technological process. Yes or no? So globalization generally, it is said driven by capitalists. That does not mean it is only economic phenomenon. It is impacting the societies. It is impacting the culture of every individual. Without knowing yourself, you are following globalization. You may be saying that I am not living in a world of globalized world, but still you are a person who is globalized. One form or the other, one way or the other, you are globalized. So we are living in a globalized world in all aspects. Globalization is not single dimension. It's a multifaceted phenomenon. You can write this word. It's a multifaceted. You have heard this word? It's a multifaceted phenomenon. Technological, right? How many of you play video games? Most of you, at least. Video games or online platforms, communication, social media, for example, or maybe food habits, festivals. What is a festival we generally Halloween festival? Is it Indian festival? No. Still you post it in Instagrams. Why? You are owning up because you are a part of society which is actually following this tradition. You want to be modern, at least you want to look modern. That means you are forced to use these things. Maybe that's good or bad, that's a different case. At least you are forced to use this. I was never on Instagram, but forced to be on Instagram because most of my batchmates are on Instagram. No one knows who is Rahul Reddy. Everyone knows other people, but no one knows me. So I was forced to be on Instagram because again I have to be in limelight. At least my seniors should know me, that what I am doing, what I am not doing exactly. So that's what the reason is. People are forced to be on different platforms only to tell that they are modern, they are contemporary, these things. So society is accepting, we are also going. Maybe it's up to the individual to use in what way, what limit. There may be people who may be using different things in different limits, but ultimately it's up to the individual. The same question was given in UPSC essay also. If you see the first question itself, technology is making you get aware of yourself. Yes or no? So that's what multifaceted phenomenon. Technology is one thing. Culture, as I already told you, but this culture don't link it to just can say Americanization. Globalization is often synonymous with Americanization. Pop culture, just dance. What is that dance which generally is shown in YouTube? People know it nowadays. Zumba.
Salsa.
Salsa, very good. This is all about culture which you are trying to mimic. Maybe some people say that globalization, westernization, globalization, Americanization are same. Maybe that's up to you. You may call it in a different way also, because it is driven by America, driven by American culture, driven by American MNCs. That's why it is called as Americanization also. Sometimes it is often called as westernization. Western, why? Because we are following the values of Western nations. That's why it is often called as westernization. So culture, communication, internet, technology, economy, you can write FIIs, FDIs, how Indian MNC is taking over foreign exactly. That's one very important point. Often you write how foreign companies taking over Indian, the days are gone. Now Indian companies are taking over foreign companies. You can write that one also. Sun Pharma, for example, has taken over some London or Britain's company, pharmaceutical. So there are many pharmaceutical giants in India which are taking up. Or maybe Covaxin is one such thing which talk about COVID is a major thing. How COVID has impacted globalization. That's one definite question which can be asked. How COVID has impacted globalization. It has fast-tracked globalization. It has deglobalized the world. You think so?
Both ways.
Both ways, I think. But my first point will be depending on the question again. You have to seek the answer depending on the question. If our examiner says globalization has actually led to deglobalization, COVID pandemic has actually led to deglobalization, yes sir, it has deglobalized. However, India is exporting to almost 120 countries or so this Covaxin and Covishield. Without globalization, how can this happen? Yes or no? In fact, COVID itself is spread because of globalization again. Yes or no? Delta variant or now Omicron and all came from, how can you say it has led to deglobalization? In fact, there is more flow of people, or you can say more flow of medicines at least. So you can say, you can argue in that fashion also. So that's what you can say. It's not an economic phenomenon, it's multifaceted phenomenon. Is world turning into a global village?
Yes.
Yes, you will say yes, why? Because again all these points you can say trade and all you can say, but other side anti-globalization movements. For example, 2001 there was a WTO conference in Seattle. The first anti-globalization movements happened in Seattle in WTO's conference. WTO's conference was supposed to be held, but lots of people came. They have placards saying that anti-globalization. Similarly, Trump, we can talk about anti-globalization. Hide American, buy American. You can see anti-immigrant policies taken up by many countries in the world. Australia, for example, USA, for example. These countries have gone for anti-immigrant. Very difficult for Indians or NRIs or maybe other citizens to go to USA. The reason is they want to protect their jobs. So today, yeah, make in India, but with foreign technology again, foreign resources. You have to make a blend. So this Sujit was talking about this globalization. He was telling that maybe we are seeing a post-globalization phase. Maybe we are seeing a post-globalization phase. This point you can write as globalization has turned the entire world into a global village. Yes. But however, scholars or thinkers, they say they feel that we are in a post-globalization phase. The reasons are 1, 2, 3, 4. First reason is anti-immigrant policies. Closing the national border. For example, even India did not export its vaccines for the first 60 days or 100 days because they want to solve even though India's outlook is global, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, but still, when nation interest or priority, I'll definitely look inward. But this has become extreme in some countries like USA, Germany, or Australia, Hungary, Austria. These countries are going for next kind of post-globalized one. They want nationalism. In fact, many nationalist parties emerged in Europe. If you are a political science student, you can definitely say there are many nationalist parties. Even who came to power in India? Who came to power? Who is which country? Which party is in power now? Nationalist party, nationalism. USA, Trump, Brazil. See Brazil again. Inward looking nationalism. Austria, Hungary, or even for example, by for the matter, Britain. So inward looking, or you can say nationalism. So nationalism is taking the lead nowadays. Last, you can say 5 to 10 years. Nationalism is again rising up, which actually threatens what? Threatens globalization. Globalization is actually beneficial. In fact, there is a person called as Professor named Jagadish Bhagavati. You heard his name? Professor Jagadish Bhagavati versus Amartya Sen. There is a debate, famous debate in India. Professor Jagadish Bhagavati versus Amartya Sen. Professor Jagadish Bhagavati, even Amartya Sen also says globalization is good for the world. Globalization is good for humanity. Both accept globalization is good. In fact, Professor Jagadish Bhagavati says globalization is like a tide. Globalization is like a tide which uplifts all the boats. Boats means here countries. Globalization is like a tide which uplifts all the boats. That means it increases economic prosperity in most other nations. Yes or no? India, for example, 1990s onwards till now, you see the economic growth is enormous because it is taking the opportunities from globalization. It depends on the country whether it is getting benefit from globalization or losing out of globalization. It's up to the country's economic policies. If you open up to global economy, you will become will become advantageous. You will be in a better position. For example, cryptocurrencies. Maybe in future India has to open up this market also. Today we are at this level, we say globalization is the cryptocurrencies are not allowed, illegal, because society is not opened up, regulatory system is not opened up for this, not ready for this. Maybe 5 to 10 years later, maybe same country will talk about, for example, foreign exchange also you say, Indian rupee is completely volatile, open to international markets. Once upon a time, RBI used to control what is the value of Indian rupee. It used to be 25 rupees per dollar or 50 rupees per dollar. It used to fix it. But now it is completely opened up. Foreign institutional investment is not completely opened up in India even today. Foreign exchange is also not opened up. We can't say that I'll take so many dollars out of India. That's impossible. Why? Because RBI says if I completely pull out of dollars from India, obviously Indian rupee will just RBI still go for this hybrid model. RBI still goes for hybrid model. But the idea is maybe in future, even today government of India is thinking, why can't we open up this international market, especially foreign institutional investment, foreign exchange for India, why can't it open completely for international market? But again, there are disadvantages. So that's what. Globalization is good for everyone, depends on the policies of the country. But present trend of globalization is actually not benefiting many countries. In fact, African, you can say narcotics trade. There are many syndicates flowing through Africa or Afghanistan, Middle East. So narcotic trade, there are many failed states.